So a lot of Bleach fans are still hopeful that one day Studio Pierrot, the creator of the Bleach anime, will bring back the Bleach anime. Like, people are just clamoring at the fucking mouth for a sign of it. Just a small slither, like, Studio Senpai, please bring us the Bleach anime. And we got a little bit of a hair, a little bit of a whisper of that they're still considering it, essentially. Because what I got here is there's an interview from a recent con, a recent convention, I believe, where the director of the Bleach anime, Masashi Kudo, actually was asked about the Bleach anime and about Bleach in general. And we have a question, and of course we got an answer from him, which is kind of interesting. Of course, they continue to be vague, like they've been for a while now, where if something comes up about the Bleach anime, they just kind of like, oh, you know, that it has ended. As a manga story, it has ended, but there are parts that haven't been made into an anime yet. I talk a lot with the anime staff about things we can do later. So right then and there, it makes me think, things we can do later. So is there plans? Or, I mean, at the end of the day, that line right there, it gives us some type of hopes, but then at the same time, it's not really clear. It's not him saying, hey, you know, there's an anime coming or anything like that. But what I can get out of this, because a couple of people were talking about it, is, hey, you know, he wants to do it, and maybe somewhere down the road they might be able to do it, and he talks with the anime staff, because just because the anime staff talks about it, what they can do later, doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming back. But at the release, it shows that the creative team at this studio, you know, the anime studio, still want to do it at some given point. So that right there is a good sign at the very release, because if the team themselves don't give a shit, then all hope is lost. If they really just, all of them don't care, whatever, what's the point? You know, it's never gonna happen. But at the very release, with that line, it kind of gives me a little bit of hope that someday, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, they might do something. I mean, at the end of the day, what's been happening with Bleach in general is just sad. I mean, everything, we don't need to go down the road of what happened between the ending of the manga and even just lately at Jump Festa, how they kind of screwed it out of being on the Billboard and magazine. From what I understand, there was actually some Bleach stuff in the convention, but yeah, Shonen Jump probably doesn't have any plans, or Shueisha in general, anytime soon to bring back the Bleach anime. But it looks like at the very least the anime staff actually... Some Bleach fans are dying to know the answer to this question. I understand there was a large supporter base for Rukia and Ichigo as a couple, and Orihime and Ichigo as a couple. Which do you support? And he said, that's a question I definitely cannot answer, because, you know, he would get his ass kicked. Let me know what you guys think about this, though. The small little quote from an interview from the director of Bleach, Masashi Kudo. Do you think him saying that there's a I mean, the possibility is always there. You never know what they can do, but do you think that that gives us hope that potentially pretty soon, years or some crazy shit, when we legitimately don't give a fuck anymore, to bring Bleach back a couple years from now? Do you think that this is some good news? Do you think this is just a passerby answer? I mean, the fact that he even brought it up was like, hey, yeah, the manga's ended, but there's still stuff from the anime that hasn't been touched yet, is a good sign. I mean, personally, I find that as a good sign, but it's not enough of a sign for me to say, yeah, man, we're getting Bleach back at some point, because he doesn't have to say so in that. He has to wait until the higher-ups tell the higher-ups to tell the higher-ups to tell him to start working on it. Any overall thoughts of this? Just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention, because the latest news we have on the matter. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm Fineb World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.